Long before True Blood and Twilight brought vampires to small town America, Stephen King brought them to his backyard in rural Maine. This book was initially adapted in a TV miniseries, and it has stuck with me. It has, in my opinion, one of the scariest scenes in horror movie history, where the kid comes and scratches on the window. This is now the third adaptation of Stephen King's novel Salem's Lot. Is it good? Let's talk about it.
I thought it was great. I mean, I haven't seen the original. I haven't read the books.
No, I'm not.
I love
anything.
vampires.
Vampires are great.
It had the superstar 11-year-old Mark.
Let me tell you something about Mark.
He's different.
This kid is a straight gangster, okay? He gets picked on and is just like, yeah, no, I just happen to know Brazilian jiu-jitsu, so get fucked.
Yeah, he was just doing everything. Smarter than all the adults.
Yeah.
Braver than all the adults.
I had a couple issues with it. I did like it overall. It's getting like really bad reviews online. So a lot of it is because of the Warner Brothers interference. So this movie was supposed to come out 2 years ago. But apparently the cut of his movie, the first cut, was 3 hours. And so it got chiseled down to whatever, an hour, 50 minutes or whatever the runtime is. And I think a lot of people are complaining, and I agree, it feels a little bit rushed.
I can see that in the second half. Like it just...
Even the sun was fast forwarded. That shit, like... The sun doesn't work that way, folks. Like, it does not just move across the sky like that. Yeah. And I'm not trying to do that whole, like, well, the book. But the book is a slow burn. Like, very slow burn. Like, what you saw in this movie.
How many pages? Like 1,500 pages or something? Like what?
The things that happen in this town, progressively, like, starting to dwindle in numbers and all that, it happens very slowly over the course of the book. And the book is, it's kind of a story within a story, and this movie doesn't address it at all. The reason he's home, Ben Mears, he's there to get inspiration for his book based on the house. So the house is like its own character. The town is its own character.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
And the story within a story is when he was a child, he saw a ghost, the ghost of a hanged person in that house. And it always stuck with him. And that's why he's back home. It's like a huge chunk of the actual story. The objective here was to sort of make the story for more of like, I don't know, it just had like this Stranger Things kind of vibe to it, like without the kids, but like it just had that feel of like this like ramshackle group of like would-be heroes getting together. In the book, the relationship between Ben and Susan is like really deep and fleshed out, and that wasn't really addressed in this. She's just kind of like a side thing. By the time she gets turned, spoilers, it's like not really as emotionally impactful as it's, I think, meant to be.
They tried to portray it on the screen, but
yeah,
it was rushed because it's like she wasn't interested. Then they were sleeping together, and then he was madly like in love with her, and it was like there was nothing in between.
The characters aren't fleshed out at all.
They aren't.
Outside of like the teacher, who I thought was the best in the movie, Matt Burke. He's the only one that isn't even fleshed out. It's just like a nice guy, and like you get his like kind of vibe.
That's the only one you really care about, yeah. Him, everybody else, and maybe the doctor lady.
I didn't give a shit about her. Terrible.
She got blown away, and didn't really care though. Actually,
the characters were like just kind of very like bland, and the plot was just very fast paced and like just boom, 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 boom. Like there's literally cuts of like. Weeks go by. 1 minute, like one kid is transformed into a vampire, and then the next minute, it's like the entire town.
All
is
the
just
kids
empty.
are gone.
And the other thing I thought was funny too, which also has to do with pacing, was like everybody just like knew instantly that it was like it's vampires. We're dealing with vampires.
I mean, we always have the opposite gripe, which is, oh man, they don't know vampires even exist in this world. So it's like
that's fair. No, that's a fair point.
Now they do, so we have to accept it. Like, okay, they're smart to know that vampires are a thing, or like, you know, zombies are a thing, whatever the thing may be.
All right, I stand corrected. You make a good point. So I mentioned the movie was originally 3 hours. One of the things that he cut which they shot, was young Ben sneaking into the Marston house and seeing the ghost of Hubert Marston. He learns that the house is the former home of a Depression-era hitman, Hubie Marston. He says here that scene that he shot with the ghost seemed to muddy the waters for audiences. The ghost story within the vampire story. He goes on, quote, "To me, it's so important because it's why Ben believes the vampire stuff, but we're not telling that story. So that was the hardest thing to cut because I love the sequence."
Right. No, that makes sense.
But it's such a huge part of his character because that's why he believes that it's vampires. It's like why he could, if I came to you, Marvin, and I said, yo, I think my neighbor's a vampire, you're going to think I'm crazy.
Yeah.
While you know what vampires are, you're going to be like, fuck is going on with this guy?
Yeah.
There has to be something that makes you like even buy into it a little bit. The film also notably excluded a lot of the more disturbing stuff from the book. And it also forgoes fleshing out the town's collection of like shitty people. This town is not very nice. Their transformation into vampires is like kind of like part of that. Now, in the book, Kurt Barlow, the master, he's portrayed sort of like a Dracula figure. He's more of like proper, just more human. But in the 1970s adaptation, they went with making him look similar to the vampire from Nosferatu, Count Orlok, that like white ghoul looking type of thing. And they did the same thing here, which is fine.
I think that was okay.
I think he looked good. Yeah, I mean, I didn't care that they did the CGI stuff with him. Tell you what, if you look up a picture of Barlow, he looked way better in the 70s. That motherfucker was scary. That was scary.
Oh yeah. Oh my God.
I didn't think it was bad, but it did have this like weird sort of cheap Hallmark movie feel to it. The way it was edited, the dialogue and the acting was at times like comical, I thought. I think this would have worked better as just like a 8 to 10 episode limited series or something where you could really like spend a lot of time with some of the characters and plot points, you know? The kid is a great example, right? Mark, you're supposed to feel bad when his friends die, but you don't. Because you don't even spend time with them. There's the one scene with them.
Yeah, yeah.
You're supposed to feel bad when
one kid gets snatched up like almost immediately.
Yeah. You're supposed to feel bad when like his parents die, but you don't.
No, because they're idiots. I didn't feel bad at all.
They dropped the ball with Father Callahan. In the book, he's a man like, and I mean, I guess they portrayed it enough, but in the book, he's having a crisis of faith. In the movie, when he faces Barlow with the cross, Barlow speaks and says like something about like a man losing his faith. That whole engagement is Barlow testing the priest's faith. Yeah. And it's his lack of faith that makes him like lose to Barlow, right?
Yeah.
But in the book, he doesn't kill him. He just like shuns him. He just leaves town because he's like, fuck, I'm like a piece of shit.
Kind of like the Exorcist thing. Like,
yeah,
the priests have to be strong enough to perform the exorcism.
Lots of little like gripes about it like that. And I think it would have just been better had it had more time to sort of deal with a lot of these story points. And like, it's a story with a lot of different characters. The book has like a lot of like nuance to it. Those gripes aside, I was surprised that I actually came around to enjoy it by the end. It felt like an old-fashioned sort of horror movie. I thought the vampire design was kind of cool.
I thought their eyes were pretty creepy. And I liked some of the scenes with them coming back. Like mainly the one in the hospital.
Yeah, that was creepy.
Where the mother coming back.
Danny, answer me. When the movie is hitting, it's hitting good.
Yeah.
I think it does a lot of really good stuff. I think some of the scares were really cool. There weren't really many jump scares. It just kind of had this like feeling of creep to it. If you're a fan of Salem's Lot, I don't think this is really the adaptation for you. It's not really a great adaptation outside of like names. But as like a fun little vampire movie in October, I think it was all right.
Yeah, I think it was a fine October watch for sure.
I was kind of hyped for this. I just watched the 70s one.
I wasn't necessarily disappointed because like I said, I haven't seen any of the original stuff. I think the actors all did a pretty good job though with what they were dealt.
You know, I'm thinking about it because you kind of checked me on it of like, well, we always complain when people like are so stupid. So yeah, I liked how the kid was like a comic book nerd and he was like, oh, fuck, yeah. I know exactly what's going on. That was kind of cool, but I wish I got to know him more. Like, I wish there was more for me to like be hyped about. Not the best adaptation I've ever seen, but an okay October movie. It's got a 5.7 on IMDb.
5.7 is low.
Yeah, it's getting
like
shit
a 7.
On.
7? This is like a 7 for me, yeah.
Ooh, okay. That's a little bit higher than I thought. I'm going to give it a 6. 6 is like mid. It's like mid. It was okay. Dusty posted something a couple days ago. I don't know if you caught wind of it, but it was really funny. So you know how Kojima is like a cinephile movie head? Whenever he watches a movie on Twitter, he like writes a whole bunch of shit about it. For Salem's Lot, he just wrote, watched Salem's Lot and nothing else.
Oh my God.
All the comments were like, if Kojima says nothing besides he watched something, it tells you everything you need to know.
It's terrible. Yeah, dang. Hey, you know what they say? If you don't have anything nice to say,
don't say it at all. It's fair. There's our thoughts on Salem's Lot. Check it out. Leave a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts. Leave a like on the video. It helps us out a whole bunch. And if you have not done so, consider subscribing. It's free. And again, helps us out